Hey everybody, Chief Meteorologist Brad Pedovich here. Let's talk about this severe weather risk for Tuesday because we are going to see at least a couple lines, I think, of strong, maybe severe storms, but it's not going to be an all-day event. This is really confined to the afternoon and evening hours. So let's take a look at what's happening right now. Just to give you an idea, you can see the showers kind of moving in from the northwest. What's happening right now is we basically have a stalled front just to the south. This stationary front is going to be pushing back to the north as a warm front later tonight. So it's roughly, actually it's a reverse, we'll flip that around. I always got to remember to draw it this way, somewhere right in there. And it's trying to move back to the north over time. And that's what's going to help produce the severe weather risk tomorrow. Tonight, the risk is pretty low, but you can see tomorrow, pretty big area under that medium risk. And again, the area we're talking about right there, that's the medium risk, the low risk here. And I really expect storms to form up here first and move in this general direction from northwest to southeast. Now, the main threat is damaging straight line winds, and I'll show you this in a second. It's a what we call a non-zero tornado threat, which means tornado threat's not high, but it's not zero either. Anytime you see strong storms and wind shear, you've got a chance for a tornado, but it's straight line winds primarily our biggest concern here. So let's look at the wide view first. We'll get in close here. That warm front drifts back to the north, and what happens tomorrow, depending on where this front is, we're going to get into the strong southwesterly wind. That's going to provide plenty of heat and humidity, but remember, the winds are coming like this here. Ahead of the front, the winds are like this. Got a lot of wind changing direction in a very short distance. We call that wind shear. There's going to be plenty of it tomorrow. I think the thing that we're going to be watching is the instability or the fuel. You see a couple waves of storms there, one way ahead of the main storm and then one along the front as it pushes through. Now, it's in and out quickly. So Wilkesboro, I know a lot of folks asked me about Wilkesboro Tuesday night. Probably going to see scattered storms at some point. Not going to rain the whole time, but Wednesday looks fine. Actually, Wednesday should clear everything out as we push off to the east. So let's show you the Futurecast first. We'll get back to the ingredients here in a second, but we'll go into tomorrow morning. I'm stopped this 10 a.m. You can see the atmosphere is kind of getting primed up here, getting nice and juicy. We're getting southwesterly winds, warm, humid air, pretty good setup for severe weather. We go until about, stop this at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. I expect to start seeing storms here and even actually way up here into Kentucky and Tennessee. They start to push southeast, and then right around 5 o'clock, this first line, see this? It's not everywhere. These are the storms we got to watch, especially like in here. Those are the ones we got to watch. Those could be potentially severe. Watch as they cross over Charlotte. That looks like a bow echo. That's definitely got some indications of straight line winds, but we also got a little kink in it. And sometimes you see that, you can get a quick spin up in there, but the fact that it looks like a bow and arrow, that's a straight line wind of it. Now watch this next batch just coming into the mountains at 6 o'clock as well. So North Wilkesboro, these are the ones you got to watch out for. Watch these moving into Wilkesboro around 8 o'clock. And you can see they look like they're bowing out as well as they push off. Look at that. I mean, that line looks pretty nasty as well. So from Greensboro down to Salisbury, Statesville, that's another strong wind threat. So all of these have that bow and arrow type shape. That bowing out, we call it, is because of strong straight line winds forcing that to push through. And then it gets out of here and goes into the afternoon the morning and afternoon on Wednesday. We should get to dry out with northeast winds. So that thunderstorm fuel, this is going to be a key part of this tomorrow. Let's go into tomorrow afternoon. You can see a pretty good surge of what we call CAPE. There's a storm building there, but there's some low and medium areas of CAPE there. That's enough to get storms going tomorrow, especially with all the wind shear. The first batch of storms, what's interesting is notice how they eat up and use all the instability. So the next wave probably going to lose some of its steam. That's why I think the first batch is the one that I am most primarily concerned about, because it'll have the most fuel to deal with. If we look at the STP, significant tornado parameter, we go into the afternoon hours tomorrow, you'll see it's not really that bad. I mean, we got a 0.4 in Lincolnton, 0.6 around 8 o'clock. So it's pretty low. But again, those areas where there's instability and STP, that's where we'll probably have the best chance or worst chance for an isolated tornado. You see some of the highest STP values are once the atmosphere cools off and we actually get rid of some of that instability. Rotation tracks, storms that could be rotating, we can show you that. This is really a good idea on where, see that cell coming through Gaston County again. That's the one I think, I'm going to watch right in here, somewhere in there. And then we'll see that next line come in, and notice it doesn't look nearly as strong. It doesn't have quite the energy with it as it moves through. So all in all, the timing of this tomorrow is really the late afternoon, evening time frame. You could see, I would say between 3 p.m. and about 8 or 9 p.m. is the worst of this. And again, it won't be everywhere. These are going to be scattered strong to severe storms, not a widespread line. That line will have holes in it and be broken up. Of course, I will post another update tomorrow morning. We'll have a vlog update. And of course, we'll have updates on WCNC.com, on our YouTube channel, on our social media, and on air. Of course, I'll have an update coming up tonight at 11. If you're not up, this is your update for tonight. We'll give you another one first thing in the morning. Have a great night, everybody.